that look already.
So this puppy is Leghorn. He's a male, lightest male. Even though my camera showed him as very orange, he's very light apricot.
Interesting, he's very interested in other voices, and he's very focused on you and very suspicious of me. Hi, puppy. Hi. There's the suspicion. He says nope. But I like that his initial response to me wasn't totally fearful. It's more that skepticism that you see with poodles a lot. But he's got a ton of pro-social body language, you know. There's tail wagging, he's making eye contact. Hi, puppy. Yeah, that's what I figured. He's turning his back to me. This is not a puppy. This puppy will overwhelm easily. He's not going to want forceful strangers. I kind of expected him to do that when I made more direct interactions with him. He's just watching me, checking me out. It's going to have to be on his terms and on his timing. Environmentally, though, he's taking it all in and pretty confident. He says, I don't like this. This is also a puppy that I think might have a really different response if his person was in this ring room, whatever you want to call it, with him. I think you would see a lot more confidence, but I still don't think he would particularly want to interact with me. And that's okay. He's not totally afraid of me. He's not assuming bad things about me. He didn't know if he wants to trust me or not.
Yeah, like people he knows, like Ashley and my kids and Jay, like he's totally cool with them. And he is very curious and loving. It's just when new things are not his jam.
No, I can see that. Although he's really handling the environment really pretty well. He's interested in this toy. The problem with the toy is that I have it, but I like that even when I tossed him the toy, he came to investigate me instead. So he's not an antisocial puppy. And he's giving me
he
kisses.
Clearly really wants to interact with you. He just doesn't know you yet.
Right. Right.
I think he'll be fine, like as long as he's socialized carefully and bonded to his people.
He definitely needs careful handling and stranger socialization. So this is a puppy that I would actively suggest working with a very positive trainer on some cooperative care. Because I think vets and groomers will be his challenge. But yet once he knows the groomer, he'll probably be fine because he's going to be going so frequently. But the groomer needs to be somebody who's patient and loving and will go slow and earn his trust. Vets and things like that are going to be a challenge. So this is absolutely a puppy that I would take for lots and lots and lots, as many as your clinic will let you, of happy visits. And don't do anything. Just let him sniff around the clinic. Let people toss treats to him or feed him treats. Let him guide it and do what he wants to do, and just take him frequently, because what I would guess would happen is if you don't push him, he'll warm up on his own in a reasonable time frame. Maybe not the first visit, but within a few. But if you push him, he's going to become more and more conflicted as he goes in. This is also a puppy that I would be very careful with in terms of that conflict with dogs like this growing up, especially as they hit adolescence and get a little older. We really want to not shove them into situations that we know they might struggle with, because what happens with these very shy or skeptical and pro-social dogs is that they do have a lot of internal conflict, and that can be when you get situations that you don't want to have. Like the dog who, I was just petting them and they whirled around and nailed me out of nowhere, because you haven't watched their really subtle body language and they are experiencing that internal conflict, and they reach a threshold where stress just takes over. But it's really easy to prevent that from happening by just not stressing the puppy out. I mean, that's very simply the solution, and it's a really easy solution. It doesn't take a lot. It just takes some awareness of your dog. So he can never learn that behavior, and you can prevent that from ever becoming a problem just by being aware of when he's had enough and removing him from new people situations before he's had enough. So like if this were my puppy and he were in this situation and, like I was in the room and I was a stranger, then I would be considering removing him already. Even though he is warming up to me a little bit more, I know that this isn't his best thing, so you know, he keeps putting his head on me, he keeps leaning more into me. But I'd be watching, and at the first sign that he either started getting really frozen looking or started pulling away more, I would say, okay, that's enough, and just cheerfully take him away and tell him what a good boy he is. And that's it. That's all you have to do. It's really, really, really easy thing to deal with, but it is something that needs to be dealt with. But I like that he hasn't reached a fill now. He's just enjoying the attention. So he is a social puppy, and he's one too that as he matures, if you socialize really carefully and you take really good care of that stress factor and give him the space to grow into that sociable side of his personality, he could become a pretty good social butterfly. The possibility's there. We don't know if he'll mature that direction or stay how he is, but the possibility's definitely there. He has enough pro-social attributes that I would say he could surprise us all and become very, very social. But to get him there, what you would need to do is keep exposing him to strangers in really laid back, low pressure where he's not shoved in. Let him take his time to experience them and let him just slowly learn that strangers are awesome and cool. And we'll give him lots of love and let him just become a mush puddle in their laps on his terms. And he may really...
It's gentle love, not like...
Gentle love, yes.
Not going and scratching and wrestling and...
Right, yes.
Flipping the puppy over and rubbing its belly.
Yes, anything, just, you know, overwhelm. Keep the word overwhelm in your mind. This is a puppy that will get overwhelmed easily. And the key to making this puppy thrive is to not overwhelm the puppy. So if, from all aspects, don't overwhelm the puppy with play, don't overwhelm the puppy with direct attention, don't overwhelm the puppy with a busy environment, with throwing him in and expecting him to interact too quickly. Don't overwhelm this puppy and you'll get good results. Overwhelm this puppy and you probably won't like what you wind up with. But I mean, he's a nice puppy, and he'll be, I think, very, very loving and affectionate with his people, and very loyal.
And he's also a lower energy puppy as well.
Yep.
He's the first one to settle down, and he's perfectly fine and chill as long as you're there with him. He's with you, so
he's shown zero desire to get out of my lap since he got here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good couch potato puppy. He's probably not a great fit for a house with kids unless they're just really calm, naturally quiet, like the studious bookworm type. That was me as a kid, so they exist. But your average kid, your kid, same way. Yeah. Your average noisy, boisterous kid, he's not going to enjoy. But any type, regardless of age, calm people is what this puppy needs. He'll thrive in a household of calm, balanced. Yeah, the bookwormy personality type who just wants to cuddle. And he's got enough energy that he would enjoy some hiking, some walking, some things like that, I think. He's environmentally pretty confident. He's just not an over-the-top puppy. Yeah. He's chill. And the one area of concern is that stranger danger thing, but I think it's really going to be very easy to work with him. It just is something that needs
just have to manage it for him because there are way too many people who do not... understand body language, and I've had a puppy ruined when I let her approach just a guy that I didn't know, and she felt a little overwhelmed, so she flipped on her back and just being submissive, and he went in and just big old damn hand, they got really handsy on her belly, and that scared her for life.
Yeah, and poodles are too smart for that. They remember. And that this is going to be that kind of puppy. So you need to be protective of this puppy and make sure things like that don't happen. Just keep him from being overwhelmed. Take good care of him, and I think he'll come out of his shell. My guess would be that this is a puppy that will mature somewhat past this, but I think it's always going to be a little part of his personality. And again, just want to emphasize, it's not a problem. It's just something to know about so that you can care for this puppy the way he needs cared for and raise him the way he needs raised, and so that he can thrive.
Yeah. I think his mom is a lot like him. She didn't come to me until she was like 7 months old, so I didn't quite know whether it was how she was raised or not. But like she is, new people are a challenge, a little bit of a challenge for her, kind of like him. It has to take her time and get to know them. She's very curious, but also like, if you spook her, she's gonna run away. But she handled going to my grooming shop with me really well. Yeah. Where she knew everybody and she got to know everybody and she was great with those people. At home, she's super happy, cuddly, loves everyone, just kind of on the softer side.
Yeah, and that's where this boy is.
Yeah.
And soft dogs are easy to work with in a lot of respects.
Yeah. So it's more of a, like he needs, I feel like he needs, obviously he needs socialization and be brought out, so he's not like every time he goes outside of your home.
Yes.
It's not a problem. But then he also would do better in the home where he's not expected to go out all the time. So like, it's not a house. Like, you need to put time in
on the front end.
On the front end, yes, to make sure he does have experiences and he has carefully curated experiences.
Yep.
But then at home, it's just where he's going to thrive.
Yep, and I think he's gonna be a great dog for somebody. It's the kind of dog Aaron, my husband, likes.
Yeah.
That would just chill on the couch with him and take a nap and just.
And that's how he's gonna be, like lazy.
Yes.
At the same time, too, like I took Victor to the dog show, and Victor came to me as an adult as well, as an adolescent. And at first, at that time he was kind of like not sure about things. He's like almost 3 now, and we went to the dog show for the first time, and he was surrounded by other dogs and people, and he handled himself beautifully. And as long as people were not like, and it's dog people obviously, so nobody was like grabbing at him, and he was like going to people's laps and making friends. So this is not a
it's not. It's hard to describe because it's not a bad thing.
It's a sensitive puppy.
It's a sensitive puppy. He's just sensitive and a little shy, and like a sensitive kid, you see kids like that all the time, and a lot of times they're in the gifted and talented program because they're super smart or whatever.
Yeah.
They're just
gotta give them support and give them a chance to grow up.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna be perfect.
They'll be fine. And I think that's how this puppy is. A lot of dogs with this personality do outgrow the shyness. So this is not necessarily a permanent thing at all. It's just something to know about while he's a baby. And it may be part of his personality long term, but it also may not be. He's so gentle in investigating this that and he's interested. He's just so gentle. He barely is pushing his little lid off.
He's like that at home too.
Yeah, he's just a very gentle, sweet, emotionally sensitive puppy.
Yep.
And those are all good attributes. It's going to make him extremely empathetic for his person. Yeah, and I put the lid on so he's not even going to try.
Yeah.
He's like, no, it's closed. Okay.
Yeah. I'm cozy in the arms, and that's kind of where I'm going to observe the love.
That's all I want. I mean, in a lot of respects, it's going to be a very easy puppy. There's just one thing to take care of that's going to require some work until he's grown. And
the thing is, like, you have to put that work in, whether you have a confident puppy from the get-go, because if you don't do what you want to do,
they won't grow up.
They're just not going to be confident. And I've seen that too. Like, I've placed a puppy who was super confident, but she's the owners are house people, house buddies, and they really haven't done anything with her. And
he's very scent oriented. So this is, again, if you have the chance to get him into some scent work classes in your area, this puppy I think would really like that. He's gonna be gentle and slow because that's how he is. But I mean, wow.
And he just keeps going at it.
He keeps going for it. He's been fascinated since I took it out. He was biting it and trying to lift the lid off. He's gonna quit when he saw that he couldn't. So he's not a super drivey puppy in any respect. But I think this scent work's a game he would really like to play.
And scent work helps with confidence as well.
Hugely. And independence. So I think that's the other recommendation I would make to this guy. Highly recommend you find some nose work classes. You don't have to compete in it. It's not necessary, but I think you'd really enjoy it, and it's really enjoyable to do with them too. Nose work is super fun. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. And I will say he's a little gassy, so he may have a little bit of an upset stomach that's kind of suppressing him a little bit too. But I mean, he has no desire to get out and play with all this stuff. He's like, cool.
That's kind of how he's. I mean, he obviously plays in our yard.
Right.
When I took them out to Starbucks to get them socialized, he kind of he played, he hung out, then he laid down and just was chill.
But that makes him a really easy out and about dog too. He needs that socialization. All right, I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it kind of quiet. And then, raised the volume a little more slowly because I didn't want to just totally overwhelm him. But again, environmentally, he's not very sensitive.
Yeah. It's just new things.
New things.
New things take him time to process. He has to take it all in, and it takes him a long time to take it in.
Ready?
But
Whoa.
he is trying.
What is that?
But yeah, no, that's...
Yeah, this is him going, But again, he's not shaking, he's not quivering, he's not falling to pieces. He's in my lap, he's happy. I think if he had been out in the middle of the room and I had done this, he would have just made a beeline for my lap.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have been the end of it. And then he's just gonna not engage with it.
Yeah.
And that, again, makes some things really easy because things out in the world that scare him, I would rather have a puppy that came to me and then was avoidant than a puppy that had a strong reaction to.
Yeah.
And he has no reaction at all and actively avoids it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean he's developed his little coping strategy and he is actively employing it, and it's a perfectly good coping strategy.
Right.
So, when he's out and about and somebody does something inappropriate, he's not going to be the puppy that's going to have some funky reaction to that. I don't
he's
think.
probably going to just shut down.
He's going to shut down and come back to you and just crawl up in your lap and just be like...
But we've also seen those kind of puppies. If I get in there, he's going to be out of your lap and doing something else.
Yep.
So we've seen that.
Yeah, because he's not fearfully avoiding it. It's not, when we use the term avoidant, that's a little confusing because we usually use it to refer to fear. But he's not afraid of this umbrella. He doesn't like this umbrella and he sees no need to engage with it. So his method of dealing with it is...
Yeah.
But it's not, oh my God. It's...
Yeah. Don't like it.
Don't like it, don't eat it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's a really easy coping strategy to live
But
life.
he's also curious, before we drove up here, I let them out in the yard, and there was a new little blackberry, how fast blackberries grow.
Yeah.
There was a new sprout there, and I guess he saw it, and it was like swaying in the wind, and he was very he was cautious, but he was also very curious, investigating it, and
he was very curious about everything in the room.
Until, he found your lap and he was like, okay, I'm going to be...
That's what I mean. It's like, it's not a fearful avoidant thing at all. It's a preference.
I want to see if I can come in there and see if it changes his behavior any. What do you think?
Yeah. I think he'll come out of his shell a lot. He's already wagging his tail.
Are you wagging your tail? You made a new friend? Did you make a new friend?
It's me. Hello. Hi. No?
No?
You want to stay with me? He says, no, this one lady did stuff with me. It was cool.
Yeah.
But I
you
like that
remember
he's
me?
not launching out of my lap to go see
Yeah.
you.
No, he's like, I'm secure with anybody.
Yeah, he says, I have a new friend now, Mom.
Yeah. Come here. Come on. Want to come out and play a little? Come out and play a little.
Let's go play. Let's go play. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. Now he's gonna come.
She's like, that's kind of the secure, I think the
Yep, that's the more secure puppy coming out right
yeah.
there.
So security of the person that he trusts will be...
We'll be on board.
Yeah. It's hard for me to take a video of it, but basically...
Right. He's just very wiggly and happy.
Yeah.
And he interacted with the umbrella. He kind of did that a little bit. And he's not super interactive with the umbrella, but he's also, again, he's not fearfully avoiding the umbrella. He's not worried about the umbrella. He's just, I have no need to play with it.
Is Angie on call?
I don't think so.
Does she want to come in?
Yeah, probably.
Since he
Do you want
knows
me to go get
us?
her? Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see how he...
I'm going to put this up because it's taking up so much space.
yeah. Because I feel like it's sometimes it's hard to really showcase that when they're like, okay, I'm just gonna park myself in your lap.
In your lap and not interact with anything.
Yeah.
was a little complaint.
Yeah.
But he recognized you, and we just want to kind of see what he will do.
Yeah, he recognized me and was all over me.
Yeah, how he would do.
Oh, yeah.
But then he goes back to you and me.
When once he's bonded to the person, he's bonded. He's good.
Oh, nervous.
He says, "I'm gonna pretend you're not there, Angie."
Yeah, you just not. Here, I don't like it. Oh, there's